say your last name?
Folpp.
Folpp.
Yeah.
Okay. What was it like growing up down this professional athlete path?
Yeah.
And how was it different from like a normal childhood?
Well, I did the last 2 years of my schooling online, so I'd have more time on the bike. Definitely a lot of sacrifices were made. Like, I couldn't go partying, I couldn't go, there'd have to be times where I'd have to say no to things because it would like negatively affect my riding, especially during the comp season, even in the off season. Yeah, there's been a lot of times, sacrifice.
Do you think, and you say sacrifice,
Yeah.
Was it a sacrifice or because it was just a trade?
Yeah, I would say more trade, you're right. Like sure, I'm saying no to things that could be potentially fun, but in the long run it means nothing. I'd rather, put the time and effort into, my biking, which can get me somewhere and will get me somewhere. Yeah, so I trade.
Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be to do with mountain biking, but if I had to say to you, what are you most afraid of?
Yeah. It's a hard question. I'd say what I'm most afraid of is not achieving my goals, but I've realised I know my goals, I know where I want to be in life, and I know what I want to do with this sport and where I want to take it. And I definitely know the work and what I have to do to achieve that. So I'm gonna just keep going how I'm going. And not let negative thoughts get in the way.
Well, that was going to be my next question. How do you deal with fear?
Oh, how do I deal with fear? Fear. You can use fear on your side, as long as there's not so much fear to the point where it affects you and it makes you doubt. But you can definitely use fear. You fear and adrenaline to commit and to give a trick, 100% in everything you've got. I think if you've got no fear, then you don't respect the trick and you could get hurt more. But if you respect it, but you also don't let that fear get in your way and no doubt, then I think it can help.
Are you scared when you line up jumps?
I wouldn't say I'm scared, but nerves are for sure there, depending on how hard the trick is. But I've done this so many times. I've felt those nerves so many times. It definitely comes with experience. The more times you do a competition, or the more times you do a trick, you get used to those nerves, and you can use them on your side, through adrenaline, and be stronger, do the trick better, execute it. Yeah.
What's your process for developing your style for a new trick?
Style. To develop my style, definitely I video myself, or mum's down there videoing me. I'll pick apart a video of me doing a trick, and something that people probably couldn't see, but I definitely pick out bits that I don't like and I change them to look how I want them to look. But in terms of learning a new trick or developing a new trick, I also pick that trick apart, like a 3-whip bar. It's 3 different components. You gotta have the 3, you gotta have the whip, you gotta have the bar. Warming up for that trick, like you do a lot of 3 whips and then feel it out. You can open up and then do the bar. You should be able to know if you can do a trick before you actually try it. A lot of visualization as well. You can do a trick hundreds of times before you've even done it up on the roll-in or just wherever. Visualization it's a tool, definitely.
Yeah. How's your relationship? So speaking of mum,
Yes.
How's your relationship been with your parents going down this pro athlete path?
Yeah. My parents, my relationship with them, it's been critical. I definitely don't think I'd be where I'm at without them. Their support. They from the start they supported this dream. They saw that I had a dream, and everything I would tell them or everything I said that I needed, they would help me, and they definitely helped me level up, get to the next goal or next thing that I wanted to do.
Some parents wouldn't understand it. Would you say that your parents understand?
I would say so. Yeah, that's a big one. There's definitely people who question my parents in supporting me this much in, in what I do, and, why would you support him this much? But, without them, I definitely, I don't know, wouldn't be going where I'm going, or they're such a big part of it. Of course, the hard work on my behalf is a part of it, but I wouldn't have the facilities or, the competition experience that I have without them, which is very grateful for that.
What are you currently working on that you're excited about?
I actually just won the Red Bull Rookie of the Year award for 2025, and that gets me into the first Diamond event, so the first World Tour event of 2026. So that's a big one. So that'll be in Rotorua next year in March. So my first World Tour event and first Australian to ever compete in a Diamond event. So that's what I'm working towards, just getting dialed, feeling comfy on the bike, staying injury free. That's a big one. Keen for that.
Fuck yeah. What's it like being so young and competing against grown men?
Yeah.
And like on this, you can also speak to how some of these guys, like you were looking up to them a year ago.
Competing against, people who are primarily older than me, I learn a lot. It's been a great experience, and there's never been age groups in the sport, and I used to watch these guys on YouTube, when I was younger, when I first got into the sport, and then 4 years later I'm standing next to them on a landing about to compete with them, which is pretty unreal. But I've never compared myself to people my age just because that's not really something I can do, because everyone's really older who I compete against. But I think that's a good thing sometimes, because I aspire to be a lot better than than what I could be, which is good.
Mm-hmm. What's the ultimate goal when you can say I've made it?
The ultimate goal to say I've made it would be probably winning the Triple Crown, which is where you win 3 Diamond events in the World Tour in 1 year. That's the ultimate. Obviously becoming the world champion for a few years would be great, but the Triple Crown that shows true dominance, which is that's the end goal one day. It'll take time, but we'll get there.
Yeah, that shows true dominance. How are you going to get that?
I'm going to achieve that through a lot of hard work. Discipline's a big one. There's a lot of things, like we said before, sacrifice or trading. I've picked this sport. This is what I want to do. I love slopestyle. I love riding bikes. I'm gonna devote my life or my younger years to this and see how far I can take it.
How old are you?
18. I'm 18.
You turned 18 this year, or you turned 18?
I turned 18 May 4th this year.
This year? Yeah. Who do you look up to and why?
This is a pretty broad answer, but I look up to anybody who is putting in the work, and people who aren't they're not just out there for fun. Obviously fun's a bigger part of it, and I wouldn't do the sport if I didn't enjoy it. But I look up to people like Emil, who's he was a reigning world champion for a lot of years. Caden Ingersoll, he's a big name. I know for a fact he puts in a lot of hard work. People who have discipline and not as much motivation, but discipline to work hard and achieve their goals. I like that. Yeah.
What's the difference between discipline and motivation?
The difference between discipline and motivation is motivation comes and goes, but discipline, if you've got discipline, it's there to stay. People who rely off motivation, they might go hard for a month or a couple months at a time, and then that'll eventually taper off. But I think if you've got discipline, then you will go a lot further. I think, hard work will go way further than talent if you're ready to put it in.
What would you tell your younger self? I said your younger self was fucking yesterday. You're friggin' 18, but like, what would you tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self to set small goals. Like everybody has these big goals that they look up to, like becoming world champion or something massive. But without these small goals and without hitting in between all these little goals, you'll never get to that big goal that you originally set. And the other thing I would tell my younger self would be, everyone is going to have good days and bad days. That's a part of this sport, a part of any sport that danger is involved. There's going to be a lot of failure, and if you can deal with that failure and adversities, then you're better off. That's actually how you can tell a champion. They can deal with failure. Better than someone who'll just give up. You got to keep going. Just keep going.
The final thing is we just need to get a selfie together.
Sick.
That was great.
Dope. Hell yeah.
Cheers, man.
Legend, bro.